watching special Election Day coverage here on CNN. I'm Brooke Baldwin in the CNN World Headquarters in Atlanta. There you have Jim Acosta flanked by planes there on the tarmac in Cleveland as we're awaiting this event that, of course, we will dip into live. Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan in Cleveland before they head to Moon Township just outside of Pittsburgh here on this Election Day. Jim, we'll head to you here in just a moment. But first, an estimated $6 billion spent on the run for the White House. $6 billion. But we're not going to talk money here. We're going to talk about what money cannot buy, as in the unexpected turn of events that can be game changers for one candidate or the other. And for that, we're going to go to CNN contributor and Democratic strategist Maria Cardona and CNN contributor and editor-in-chief of RedState.com, Eric Erickson. Welcome to both of you here. Happy Election Day.
Absolutely.
Let's listen first. I just want to play the sound to the October surprise. This is from 1 week ago.
And I cannot thank the president enough for his personal concern and compassion for our state and for the people of our state. And I heard it on the phone conversations with him, and I was able to witness it today personally.
Eric Erickson, Mr. RedState.com here. Here you have, Republicans' favorite governor, Chris Christie, heaping praise on the, supposed political enemy here, Barack Obama. You say this was a turning point for the president.
Yeah, I actually didn't think that Hurricane Sandy would overall give the president a big bump, but it clearly did. If you look at the Gallup poll, which had been +5 for Mitt Romney until this past weekend, where it was only +1 for Mitt Romney, all of the gains that Barack Obama made in the Gallup poll, and several other polls for that matter, came from the East Coast. The West and the Midwest and the South, they stayed stagnant in the polling. So clearly something happened in the East that gave Barack Obama a bounce. The only thing that happened was Hurricane Sandy.
That's something being Sandy. Maria, do you attribute a potential turning point to this hurricane, or you think it's a little bit more than that?
I think it's more than that, Brooke. I absolutely agree that it certainly gave the president a boost, and especially with the independents or perhaps some undecideds, this is the stuff that they love.
But I'm hearing a but coming.
But you can't discount, if President Obama wins, there are two things. First of all, a lot of the polling and a lot of the analysts had been saying that when Sandy arrived, Mitt Romney's bounce had already stopped, had already stagnated, and the president was starting to basically equal what he had lost, and he had already made some gains that he had lost in those battleground states. And so if he does win, if the president wins, you also can't discount the 47% remark from Romney, the let Detroit go bankrupt if he loses Ohio. I think those will be key turning points for Romney if the president ends up winning.
It's interesting you bring up Ohio, and also keep in mind that the president really didn't bring up that 47% comment till the very end of, I want to say it was that last debate. Eric Erickson, I mean, let's talk about the debates because, everyone agrees, including the president. I feel like the president sort of jokingly said, yep, I was asleep during debate number 1. If Mitt Romney wins, how much do you think that first debate will play as a factor?
I think the first debate was actually pretty significant for Mitt Romney. I think there were several factors along the way leading up to the debate. You had this Republican caricature, if you will, of Barack Obama, starting really with Clint Eastwood, the whole empty chair thing. And it didn't seem to resonate with a lot of people until that first debate. And suddenly a lot of people thought, wow, he really is disengaged. Maybe they're right. And it caused a number of independents in particular to shift their opinion. Now, to Maria's point earlier, I do think by the third debate, Romney had captured everything he could potentially capture from that first debate. But when you look at the polls between October or September and that debate, there was a huge gap with the president leading by a significant margin and then a massive plummet for the president at that debate.
It was tough. I mean, let's remember that final debate was, foreign policy. And I think a lot of people agree that Mitt Romney didn't really hammer the president as much as was expected when it came to that horrendous attack in Benghazi. Maria, do you think that final debate really, I don't know, help the president, hurt Romney?
Yes, there's no question about that, Brooke, that after the first debate, and the president joked about it himself, you're right about that, the president did not show up. The second debate, he was very strong, and the third debate, I think, sealed it for anybody who had any doubts after the first debate that this was a president who was a fighter, that this was a president who knew his stuff from a foreign policy standpoint, and I think he hammered Romney the way that he needed to if he wanted to continue to come back and enjoy the lead that he had before going into the first debate, and I think that's exactly what happened.
Maria Cardona, Eric Erickson, thanks for the chat on the turning points. We shall see what the voters and what the Electoral College has to say here. Thanks you both. And of course, CNN, we're all over it. We're covering the election for you all day long. But be sure to watch our special coverage. That begins at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. Jim Acosta, to you in Ohio.
Hi, Brooke. I'm going to stand out of the shot right now so we can show you this image of Election Day 2012. And do you need a better image than this? Zooming in from the Romney charter to Air Force Two that was carrying Vice President Joe Biden earlier this morning. All three of the campaign planes are on this tarmac right now. Mitt Romney's plane, Paul Ryan's plane, and Air Force Two right now in Cleveland, Ohio. We'll be talking about the latest polls with our CNN's Paul Steinhauser in just a few moments right here on CNN.
Get a flu shot at Rite Aid today and protect yourself from this season's strains of flu. No appointment necessary.